everybody, and welcome back to Summer of Chess. Today's game was another one against a fellow American, with me on white, my opponent on black. This was the game that pushed me over 1,000 in blitz, so let's take a look. I start off with knight to c3 as usual. He opens up with d5, and so I went with d4, e6, and I follow up with e3. Knight to c6, so I follow up with bishop to e2. He follows up with e5, and I decide to go bishop to b5, pinning this knight here. He does somewhat the same by pinning my knight by moving his black bishop to b4. I move my black bishop to sort of counteract that. He takes a pawn. I take his knight, putting him in check, so he has to take with his pawn, and then I take with my pawn. From there, he moves his knight to f6, and I move my queen to c1, hoping to get a little threat going here. He castles, and I go ahead and move the threat. He puts me in check, and so I move my knight to e2 to intercept it. He takes, and so I simply take back, although this does forfeit my ability to castle. He checks with queen, so I offer a trade, which he declines, and so I take his knight. Queen takes that, and of course I was attempting to set up a trap here because I wanted to move e8, and I was hoping that'd be checkmate, but I completely forgot that b4 he can simply move to protect it. I can't take it, because then his king simply takes mine. My queen. So I double up e-file as to kind of give it a little bit more pressure. He moves his white square bishop to b7, opening up the queen to attack by the rook, and so I pull my queen back to e3. He threatens it anyway with the idea that it's pinned. However, I can simply take his rook, and there's nothing to take the queen back. So a huge slip up by him. This would normally be a resignation by a normal person, but this game actually kept going. He puts me in check, and I accept his trade of queens, and then I move my king to f1, putting it to safety and opening up my e-file for the rook. From there, he moves his pawn down, hoping to stop me. And I go ahead and take. He moves his black square bishop to c5. I simply push my pawn, and I keep pushing it. He has forced to take that pawn, so I take his bishop. I am now up a lot. He moves his king over. I take the pawn, unprotected pawn on c7. He moves to put me in check on the white square bishop, so I simply move to e1. He starts moving his pawn down, and I'm still clearing out his pawns, and then I start moving this one. I take on c6, putting him in check, so he simply moves to attack the pawn. I move my knight to protect it. He takes with his bishop, so I take with my king, and he takes the pawn. From there, I start pushing my pawn on the a-file. Obviously, I'm going to win this. I take, he takes, and he can't do anything to get rid of this pawn unless he goes all. He can't even do that, actually. So I promote. He moves to put me in check. I take. He moves, check, and then he moves once more, and that's checkmate. The game was only 41 moves, and it was a 3-minute blitz game.